Usually not in lack of something to talk about. There's always something to talk about. There's always an issue.
Emerge.
There's always a new project that Roland wants to discuss. There's always an idea that we want to figure out,
So basically we make it a conversation. I mean, you could just ask questions, but making it a conversation keeps new insights coming, and then we pick on them.
Yeah. I think idealism is that you believe in a bigger purpose, and that is the thing that drives you. Idealism can drive you, but idealism won't give you success. I think good intentions are there and those kind of things, but I really think that to have success, you need you need to be a bit skeptic as well. You need to ask the right questions. You can't just. I know there's a lot of. I don't want to say anything bad about any clubs, but there's a lot of student clubs, a lot of engagement out there. People sit together and they talk about how things should have been. And there's a lot of good intentions. They're doing parades. They are just being on stands, giving out flyers about the situation out there. Yeah. And that's idealism. But
if I may come in there, I think for me, I agree with you entirely that idealism really drives you. But for me, I think success is where idealism meets passion. You see, you might have, let's say, this interesting idea, this purpose that you have. But if you have no passion, then there is less motivation, there is less drive, there is less push for you. Even like voluntarism, I think for me it's driven by passion. And things that are driven by passion are sustainable. I mean, you're able to do whatever it takes to have it happen, to have it successful. So for me, in addition to having this idea, in addition to having this purpose, in addition to having the willingness to volunteer, you need this passion. So I always like to talk about passion-driven engagements, passion-driven leadership, passion-driven voluntarism. With passion, we are able to realize our purpose. I think it's interesting. That question actually touches me very well because I was asking myself because I had to cancel my trip to New York. I mean, from New York, I had to cut it short to come and be part of this meeting, for example. And when I was coming, I said, by the way, why am I part of this project? I asked myself, okay, I have cancelled my trip, I've cut it short and I'm coming for this meeting, but what is it? And I found out a few things which I've actually realized today. One is that I find this project unique. Hey, Ronald, we have this idea. It's pigs. I said, pigs? What are you talking about? Is it? What? Pigs? Yes.
Why I'm so committed? It's a very easy question, I think. I applied for this exchange program last year because I read the description you had about Lions Club, and I saw that this was a club that wanted to do more than just sit and talk about problems. Yeah. That you want to go out there and you actually want to make a difference. I think I've actually read it, so it's someone else's. But it's like I read some articles now on the way here about what is it that characterizes success projects in Africa. And one of the things that's a takeout from all projects that have had some sort of success is that there's a close connection to the beneficiaries. That there's no that the project coordinators visit them at their homes, you see how they are, and that way you get a commitment. Yeah. That way you get an ownership. That way you see the real outcome of this project.
I really agree with Hans. The best approach for aid in Africa. Well, I'm not really a pro-aid person. I think we don't need aid. We just need empowerment, you see. I think for me, I like you if you give me a hook to go and do the fishing, but not giving me fish every day. So by giving me a hook, well, it's aid, but you're empowering me to go and fish every day. So for me, I think if you're a donor agency and you're coming to Africa to give aid or to help transform Africa, so they say, you should give yourself a timeline. You say, I'm here for 2 years or 3 years. After that, I'm out. But when I'm out, will you continue living? You see? So in other words, you're talking about, you have a specific timeline of your support, and you're sure that when you leave, what you're supporting will continue to exist. So I'm talking about sustainability of these initiatives that we start. If you invite people, for example, for a training on entrepreneurship and go, that's an incomplete thing. What would they do with the skills? You see? So if you give people support I think for me, you should think about sustainability. So when you're coming into Africa, when you're coming into a community, you should come with a clear exit strategy and clear strategy on how this initiative you've started will continue to run. For me, that's the most important thing. Yes, aid can be good only if we have a limit and say, okay, after 4 years, no more aid. But can you continue living? So for me, that's, I think, the underlying principle. I think we can work with aid. Yeah. All right. It's been nice. All right.